Well, hello there everyone, it's Uptown, and welcome to this makeup tutorial video for Marinette or Ladybug, your favorite magical girl with a secret. Start off with a clean face. Please ignore the random breakout on my nose. Thanks! I already have blue contact lenses in, but please remember that they're totally optional and not required for cosplay. I start by applying moisturizer all over my face, making sure to focus special attention on the middle areas or anywhere where I know my skin tends to get dry throughout the day. I've been doing this step in place of doing any primer for my makeup routine, but if you choose to use primer, you can do this instead of or after moisturizer if you choose. Next, I'm going to do a little trick that I learned that I'm still experimenting with. Around the outer corners of my eyes tends to crease a lot whenever I apply makeup, so what I do is I put setting spray on one of my fingers and I press it into those areas that I know are going to crease a lot. I don't know why, but this works really well for me, so feel free to give it a try. Next, take your favorite foundation and apply it to your face using whatever tool or method works best for you. I'm taking mine and using a damp makeup sponge, dotting it all over my face and blending it in with firm bouncing motions. I find it blends out best into your face and looks the most natural when you apply the most concentrated makeup in the middle zones of your face and then start blending it outwards. It's always a good idea to blend your foundation downwards towards your neck to make sure that there aren't any weird differences of color between your foundation and your natural skin tone. And if you need to add a little bit more foundation on top of that to get better coverage, go for it. Next up, I'm taking a full coverage concealer and applying it under my eyes and on the highlight points of my face, which includes cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, forehead, chin, as well as any problem areas or blemishes that you want to try to blend away. Then take your makeup sponge or other tool of choice and start blending it into the rest of your makeup. If you've got any stubborn spots, go at it again. Next up, I'm taking a loose translucent setting powder and using the end of my makeup sponge to press that powder into the makeup underneath my eyes. This will really set that makeup in place and dissuade any creases from showing up. Now I'm using a big fluffy brush and using that very same setting powder to brush and buff it into the rest of my face to set all of my foundation and concealer into place. Time to contour. First, I'm using a fluffy angled brush to chisel out my cheekbones. Marinette is a young, round-faced teenager with very soft features, so I'm trying to be light-handed. Using my natural cheekbones as a guide, I'm swooping the contour upwards to try to give the illusion that I have a rounder face. I'm now buffing out the edges and blending it out with a large, fluffy brush to soften any harsh lines. When applying contour, I always recommend to blend upwards as opposed to down to keep it from looking like there's dirt on your face and to instead make it look like you're replicating a natural shadow. With that same brush and same contour shade, I'm now going in under my jawline. Once again, I'm not going too heavy with this and I'm making sure to blend it out a lot because Marinette's face is round and my jaw is square. Using that same big fluffy brush as before, I'm now blending out that jaw contour even more. Continuing on with contour, it's now time to tackle the nose. Using that same cool-toned brown contour shade with a smaller but still fluffy angled brush, I'm lightly shading the insides of my brow bone leading down the sides of the bridge of my nose. Marinette's nose is very small, petite, and a bit more of a button nose shape. To do this, you want to focus your contour and shading towards the tip of your nose. Use your contour to shade an upside-down triangle around the end of your nose. That straight across portion that goes across the bridge of your nose is what's going to make your nose look like it's more upturned. Make sure you blend out those edges. To replicate Marinette's rosy complexion, I'm applying blush with a round, soft brush. I'm first focusing on my cheeks and blending it out just above my contour. Another trick to helping your face achieve a more youthful look, as well as just replicating Marinette's overall face anyway, is to take your blush and start blending it across your face and over the bridge of your nose so that the whole middle zone of your face has that rosy complexion. Blend it out. And now for the eyes, the fun part. I'm dipping into a light cotton candy pink shade of eyeshadow with a fluffy blending brush, and I'm going at the outer corners of my eyes and blending it outwards to sort of blend with the cheek blush that I applied earlier. Geez, how many times can I say blend in one sentence? Oh look, more edge blending. To brighten up my eyes and give myself a base to work with for the rest of my eyeshadow, I'm taking a light skin tone color that's very similar to my natural skin tone already, and packing it on my eyelids and sweeping it up all the way up to my brow bone with a soft packer brush. Next, I'm taking a light peachy orange toned eyeshadow with a large fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm blending that into my crease. I'm not too concerned with being exact with my motions with this because I'm really just buffing it out and putting it all over that crease and blending it a lot. With lots of windshield wiper motions and circular buffing motions, I'm diffusing that orange shadow upwards so that it starts to go up onto my brow bone. To continue to add some color into my eyes, I'm taking that light pink shade from before with a small flat brush, and I'm blending that onto my lower lash line. Using a pointed, fluffy eyeshadow brush now, I'm dipping back into that light pink shade and focusing it onto the outer corners of my eyelids and blending that around in the orange shade that's already there. With a small, fluffy blending brush, I've dipped into that same light skin tone base eyeshadow color I used before, and I'm using that to blend the pink and the orange eyeshadow shades together a bit more flawlessly. To add depth and to start changing my eye shape, I'm dipping into a light taupe brown color, and I'm using it to deepen up my crease, focusing most of the color on the outer corners and blending it outwards. I'm trying to keep my eyes looking bright and natural while still slightly changing the shape to make them appear a bit more elongated. Using a clean blending brush, I'm buffing out the edges of that brown contouring eyeshadow that I did before to prevent any harsh lines. Next, I'm taking a white eyeshadow with that soft packer brush, and I'm applying it over the inside half of my eyelids. If you think we're done brightening our eyes for Marinette, you're wrong. Next up, I'm taking a white eyeliner pencil and I am tight lining my lower waterline. This helps catch some more light towards your eyes and helps make them appear larger and brighter. Also, I hope you're playing some sick jams while you're doing this, because I know I am. Time for the bane of my existence, eyeliner. Keeping with Marinette's natural look, I'm using a black liquid liner in a felt tip to follow my upper lashes as closely as possible, allowing the line to get slightly thicker towards the outer corners. Don't be afraid to take your time with this, because eyeliner takes a lot of practice, and I still mess up all the time to this very day. Repeat on the other side and pray that you can get them to match. To further help us replicate Marinette's eye shape, we're going to be doing a winged eyeliner look. Once again, because I don't want this makeup look to look too heavy or too done up for her, I'm going to be keeping the wings long but very slender and narrow. One side complete, now to make the other side match. Okay, I got lucky. Now to move on. Next, I'm taking a very fine and accurate eyebrow brush and dipping into a dark brown. Use this to connect the winged eyeliner that you just did to your lower lash line on the outer corners of your eyes. Next, I'm taking a black eyeliner pencil and tight lining my upper lash line so that the eyeliner that I did and my eyelashes blend seamlessly together and there are no gaps showing. Next, I'm taking my favorite mascara and applying it to my upper lashes first, making sure to focus mainly on the outer lashes at the outer corners of my eyes because Marinette's lashes are significantly longer here. If you choose to use false lashes for this, I would recommend you apply them now and then put mascara on afterwards to blend your natural lashes in with the false ones. Next, I'm applying mascara to my lower lashes, also focusing on the outer corners. If you experience any clumping or any of your lashes are weirdly sticking together from the mascara, you can grab one of these guys with the little mini comb on one side and the eyebrow brush on the other side, and you can comb through your lashes to try to separate them and take out any of the clumps. Time to get those brows on fleek. One of the questions I get a lot is, how do you change your eyebrows to a different color, especially if they're dark eyebrows like mine? What I find works well for me at least is to use a white eyeliner pencil, the same one that I used for my waterline earlier, and to go over all of my brow hairs and basically turn my eyebrows white. After that, which you'll see in a minute, is I'll take an angled eyeshadow brush and I will pack on colored eyeshadow of the color of my choice over top of it. The reason this works so well for me is because the white eyeliner pencil gives the eyeshadow something to stick to so it doesn't go anywhere. And because it's white, it helps to block out the color of your eyebrows initially, and it helps give a nice bright base for the colored eyeshadow to sit on top of so that the color stays nice and opaque and saturated. Now that my eyebrows have aged 60 years on their own, I'm going to take a mixture of two eyeshadow colors, a nice dark medium blue and black. Like I described before, I'm taking that angled eyeshadow brush and I'm first packing on the blue eyeshadow over top of the white eyeliner pencil. This is just to get the initial base color down. Now I'm using that even finer, more accurate eyeshadow brush, and I'm using that same blue color to go over the edges of my eyebrows to clean them up and to refine the shape. For the most part, I'm following the shape of my natural eyebrows, but I'm doing my best to round them out a bit more because my eyebrows are generally very straight with a sharper angle on the outside. Marinette's brows are fairly round and soft all the way through, so I'm trying to find a happy medium. With that same fine angled brush, I'm now going in with the black eyeshadow and making small strokes throughout the entire eyebrow to darken them up and add a little bit of depth. In the show, Marinette's brows are basically black, and while eyebrows are typically 1 to 2 shades darker than your natural hair color, I did want the blue to still show through in my eyebrows, but I did want to darken them up and make them look slightly more natural, if you can call blue eyebrows natural. If you made any mistakes or want to refine the shape a little bit more, you can take a flat, fine brush and some concealer and clean up around the edges of your eyebrows to make them look a bit more sharp. Once I have the concealer down, I use my little finger to blend out the edges back down towards my brow bone so that it doesn't look too harsh. Time to learn how to do some freckles. There are actually several ways people achieve freckles, but I'm going to show you one particular way for this tutorial. Using the darkest shade in a cream contour palette, the tool of choice that I'm going to be using is a silicone brush made for gel eyeliner. This is going to be great for this because it's silicone, it has no bristles, and so there's only going to be one tiny point of contact with your skin. This will allow you to have the most control over the exact placement of each and every freckle. I wanted to use this method for her freckles because Marinette's freckles are in a very particular area of her face, in the very center and across the bridge of her nose. If I used other methods, the freckles may have gone too far or gone into places that I really didn't want or need them. The technique itself is very simple and self-explanatory. Just dip the end of your brush into the cream contour and start dotting it firmly against your face wherever you want freckles. To keep these looking as natural as possible, I recommend having a mixture of darker, slightly larger freckles and lots of lighter, smaller ones bespeckled amongst them. If they seem too dark or too harsh, you can also veil them with some setting powder over top of them, or even you could just put more blush over them if you're not rosy enough yet. Another method to make freckles would be to use what's called a stipple sponge. You can just dip a corner or a side of this sponge into that cream contour color and start bouncing it across your face to make freckles that way. Speaking of more blush, here I am, adding more blush. To give Marinette a radiant glow, we're going to add some highlighter. I've learned that highlighting powders stick way better if they're over top of setting spray, so I've set my face with setting spray first. I'm then using a small fluffy brush and dipping into a soft, natural champagne shade of highlighting powder to keep from being too extra. I'm dusting this lightly over my cheekbones and focusing on the very tip of my nose to further enhance that upturned button nose illusion. To brighten up the eyes even more, I'm taking the brightest little white highlighting powder that I own and using my little finger to press it into the very inner corners of my eyes. It's a small touch and reasonably subtle, but it does wonders for reflecting light and brightening up your eyes. I'm putting some of that more subtle shade on my brow bones. Time for a good old spritz of more setting spray. We're almost done, I promise. Next up is lips. Marinette's lips are one of those things in shows where, depending on what screenshot you're looking at, her lips tend to be a lot of different colors. I decided to just add a light pink gloss over top of mine. Use these tricks if you want to make sure that the inside of your lips don't have product on them so that they won't get on your teeth. And here, I thought I was done, but I felt like something was missing and I finally figured out what it was. The natural creases under Marinette's eyes, where her eyeballs are fairly prominent, so I decided, hey, why not go the whole 9 yards? I'm using a small, flat eyeshadow brush and a light brown shade of either contour or eyeshadow, and shading in where my natural creases are, where my eyeballs are. I'm then taking a clean, fluffy brush and blending those out so that they're not too harsh. Now I'm happy. Now all that's left to do is to do some quick wig prep of pin curls, slap on a wig cap, put on your wig, and then you're done. Thank you guys so much for watching this makeup tutorial, and I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to see how I styled this particular wig, head over to my wig styling tutorial. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care!